was over there having my meal, and it started to rain, like a kind of a soft soaking rain, and so I rigged my tarp here over these trees, and it worked great, and put myself underneath there and was able to stay out of it. And then I got all sorted out and got in the tent, and I barely closed the door, and boy did it ever come down. So I was very fortunate. It was, you could hear later on, it poured off of the tarp onto the ground. So it was quite a day. Well, good morning from Donald Lake. Here we are. It's about, I don't know, 7:15. And it's about 6, maybe 7 C. It's cool, but thankfully there's no wind. I find my hands are a bit cold, but the rest of me is doing pretty well. I think we did pretty well. This tarp thing is awesome. I love this thing, and how well it can lash to these trees, and those little clips there, they're just the living end. So, and basically what's really nice is the way the air, I guess, has been overnight. It's dry. Now the tent's still damp on the top of the fly, but the tarp's dry as a bone, so it's pretty nice. Anyhow, we got forecast for the weather, and it looks improved, which is nice to see. We're looking at decent weather today and tomorrow. I think even tomorrow we'll get even more sun, which is going to be nice, and then maybe more cloud on Monday or Tuesday, sorry, but we'll have to see how it rolls out. That's my day going out, so if I have a little bit wet there, it's not the end of the world. So today I want to explore Donald Lake a little bit. I kind of went up through the bottom end of it, and I don't think I'm probably going to go back, but over to the west side there's some nice bays there I'd like to go. I'd like to see if I can get into Kettle Lake, and then there's some bays further north, and I'll check out some of these other campsites I've marked too to decide which ones are worth looking at, because right now the ones I looked at, none of them were worth it, but then this one, which wasn't marked, is gold, so who knows. Now I'm proceeding into Colin Scott, Gold, and ultimately into McCarthy Bay to a campsite on an island that I'm hoping to get tonight. Given that I haven't seen anybody, it's hopeful that that would be available. And I'm in no hurry. The math on this is about a 5-hour travel. So I'm probably going to leave here about 10 or 11. So that'll give time for it to warm up a little bit and to get a bit of the tent drier than it is now, and so on. And so that's where we are this morning. And I'm just sitting in my chair enjoying this beautiful place. So this morning the campsite looks pretty decent. Everything's the way I left it. The tent, the tarp, my cooking area there. Not that I do much cooking, but my water bag. And the pack is hanging there, and the canoe through the trees over there. Everything seems in good shape. So one of the challenges I had was managing these cords, because they get fairly long and they can get tangled really quickly, and so when you open up your tarp, you know, you have a half an hour of messing around with it, which gets old. So I came up with this, which is a piece of PVC pipe that I've cut some notches in, and then I can spool the thread around it quite nicely. And right now, of course, they're loose like this, which just means they're going to get lost. So what I'm doing right now, when I have a few minutes, is I'm going to run the cord through the center of it, and that makes it captive. So it'll be on the string somewhere when it's deployed, and this prevents it from getting lost. So this is a little innovation that cost me nothing, and so now they're like that when they're finished, and I can just wrap it up with the tarp, and it's no big deal. So one new gadget I'm working on for this trip is this thing. This little black unit here allows this stick to be seen by the phone's file manager. So what I'm doing right now is downloading all of the images and video I took yesterday from my phone and dumping it into the stick, so that my phone's memory will be comparatively empty for today. Now this, let's read this here. It was 9 gigabytes in total I'm dumping, and it says it's going to take about 30 minutes. So we'll see how that works out. I have my battery here to see how much my phone eats up after that, but we'll see. But looks, it's a pretty cool unit. So per chance this morning I decided to top off my phone and my GPS with the battery. And in doing so, I found that the GPS's jack on the GPS proper is broken and can no longer accept a cord. I've been having a little bit of problem with that thing before, where it would go off and on, and I thought maybe it was the cord. However, I don't see how you can fix it. So I have a charge in the GPS for today, but it'll go dark probably early by tomorrow. So since I really like keeping the tracks of all these things, and I've got people at home who worry about me and want to follow my trips, I'm going to have to come out today instead. But I got a bit of work ahead of me. It's probably a 7-hour day, as I guess, from here. Hope to be out of here by about 11, and it'll be probably 6 or so by the time I'm at the car. So that's what's ahead of me right now, and I'm just finishing packing up. I should point out also, I know it's a 21st century kind of problem. It seems that the old 50-cent part holding everything up, I can navigate as I did for years without a GPS. That doesn't worry me too much. I've got decent maps and I can figure it out. It's the tracks that I really like to keep, and the ability to text with family. They know that I'm okay out here, versus hearing absolutely nothing until I show up again. I just don't think that's very fair. So we're going to go home. Hello, and thank you for watching this video. It is a pleasure to share my adventures with all of you. To help achieve my goal of at least 1,000 subscribers, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to Hiking with Henri and click on the like button for this video. It is completely free and would be of great help to me. Thank you very much. So, sadly, in a way, I'm on my way from this beautiful site here at Donald Lake, and I'll pass by it so you can have a better look from the ocean. It's pretty sweet. So here's the site at Donald Lake. You probably won't get that one again because I'm sure it's pretty popular, but given the cold and the weather here, I'm the only person on the lake that I've seen. My camp on Donald Lake was a dream site. Really very little to criticize. The canoe landing itself, other than props being sand, was really, really easy and nice to use. Level sites on the promontory where you have the beautiful views of the lake are hard to find, but there's ones further back in you can use. The water access is amazing. The cooking area, there's plenty of it, and there's lots of improvements there. The toilet box is there. It's in good shape. It's not too far away compared to others in this area. The view's amazing, and of course at $0 the price is you can't beat that. And so I took a little off on the level sites, but other than that, 98.6 is the highest rating I've ever given. So if you get a chance to come to Donald Lake, you're probably not going to get this site because I'm sure it's in high demand. Odd to be this close to the car, if you will, and be this alone, but I guess that's also September as well. Yeah, pretty sweet. The low end there where you can get out, and then you've got this cliff here. Not a real cliff, but rock surface. Let's get turned around here. But it's not that high, so it's nice for a view without having to
Don't climb too much, and it's a really pretty gentle slope. Again, one of the challenges it seems up here is level campsites. Some of these rocks, it goes down a fair ways. I think you could probably jump off, go swimming or something, which would be kind of fun in the summer. Although these waters would probably be pretty cool, I would think. But if it's a hot day, what the heck, eh? I was gonna say it kind of looks like a campsite. So there's that one, which is nice enough, I guess, if you can find a level site in there. Now I'm up here in the upper bay of Donald Lake, just half a K from the Portage to Colin Scott Lake. And the north end of Donald is a lot more rugged, a lot of higher cliffs, big rocks, all kinds of stuff. And when at the south end was pretty much the, where I camped was about the only rock structure you find, comparatively speaking. So the north end certainly looks pretty wild up here. Well, we got through that. So when I arrived at the Colin Scott Portage from Donald, it started to pour. Pretty steady rain, straight down, cold. So I had to scramble, put things away, and get a raincoat on and all that. The takeout is pretty steep, probably 25 to 30 degrees. And it's pretty smooth rock, so I was very concerned about falling and slipping and ending up rolling right into the lake or getting hurt. So I really had to take my time. But we're through, and the rain has quit, and we've got partly cloudy skies right now for, who knows, the next 15 minutes or something, since it seems to be so changing. That's about all I can say since I got here, is the weather has been very changeable. Welcome to Gold Lake. Lots of dark clouds around here still. So that was our first look at McCarthy Bay. We're done the 3 portages. Thank you very much, because they're hard enough, but thankfully not too long. We got done 15 minutes earlier, so I'm basically having my lunch on free time. According to the GPS, is 15K back to the truck. I'm not so sure it's that short. We'll see. But we got a west wind, so I don't know how hard the pushing is going to be, but hopefully we can at least maintain 4 and should get back before 7 at least. Whew, kind of a tough morning for me. Had 2 heavy downpours, cold rain and some wind during 2 of the portages and before, which made everything soaking wet in the trails, which made footing quite tricky. And of course had to dig out everything. So, but where's that cloud going? Just I tell you, it goes from sun to rain so fast here today. Got as soon as the sun disappears, you wonder what's going to happen next. But anyhow, I had nice lunch, and now we're just going to put the boat in the water and hopefully a nice paddle back to the vehicle. Unfortunately, shortened it up, but pretty tough weather here today for me. And with the broken GPS, I really didn't have a lot of choice with want to maintain my trips and maintain communication with the folks back home. All right, more later. So that site on this island here maybe is at the point. It looked like some traffic over there. But other than that, there's just nothing here. So I would say it's probably at the point. And here's a look at McCarthy Bay. This is kind of a nice lighting we're getting right now here. Let's change that around. So, haven't made too much video on the way back here. I started off in pretty high wind, 20, 25, 30 km/h. There was one time I was only getting about 2.5 km/h progress. However, it's died down, thank you very much, in the last 4 or 5K, and I've been able to scoot along at a better rate. So I didn't want to spend too much time making video because I need to get out of here before dark, and right now it looks like I'll make it with an hour to spare, so I didn't want to burn that time up too quickly. However, I'm almost out of McCarthy Bay. I've got another, I don't know, maybe 1.5 kilometers to go, something like that, and then I'll be on Matagamasi, and it's just a matter of paddling down to the input there. Now the thing is, I don't know if the wind will show up again, but right now, gosh, it's pretty nice. So after all I've been through today, I'll take it. Anyhow, we'll see you later. Alright, so we got about 1 kilometer, 1,200 meters to go. I can see the end here now. So, how did this trip go? So, day one was nominal, other than I cut off that section on Matagamasi because of the brutal winds, which I think was the right thing to do. I also got started a bit late that day, and that seems to be happening to me sometimes with these trips, and that doesn't help either because it puts pressure, and we don't want that because that's when mistakes get made. So day two was supposed to be a look around Donald Lake and then up to that campsite that was pretty sketchy on that island in McCarthy Bay. And then day four was to look at Coral Falls, which didn't happen. And day four would have been the paddle from that island campsite, if that's what we did, back here. So I basically did day two and day four all at once today, after a pretty big day one. So that's kind of, this was supposed to be an easier trip, and not really. Oh my gosh, I'm pretty toasted. So after all the wind and rain and everything that happened, get beautiful air here right now, really smart colors. It's quite a beautiful scenery. You probably can see behind me a bit there, the clouds and the green trees and everything. There's not any real show of fall yet, thankfully, yet in the colors on the tops of the trees that I can see here. There's nothing yet. There was some on the road going in yesterday, but so we're down to about 1K now, and it's rewarding every time, because the difficulties are my difficulties. They're not nature's fault. Nature is what she is, and she's wonderful, and it's what I choose to take on, and how I'm prepared for it. That is the factor that makes whether I'm comfortable or not, or enervated, or in pain, or whatever the math is, warm enough and all the rest. And we always need to remember that, you know, it's just, the only thing, a problem with some of these things is not the thing itself, it's the pain that we're in, and we don't really Not sure whether we have the horsepower left to do that particular hill or whatever. I also find too, it's easy right now, say for example I got a less than a kilometer to go, to say gee, kind of just wish the trip finished because you know you're kind of focused on getting back. But I'm looking around because I never know when I'm going to be back here, and it's a pretty special place, and I feel pretty privileged that at 64 I can still do these kind of days and usually call it fun. And so I'm back. 6 hours and 37 minutes, 23.6K plus the portages, of course. And this is a beautiful area, boy. I'm really glad I found it. The Matagamasi, Chinaguchi, Wolf, Donald Lake area. Wow, it's pretty fun. Anyhow, thank you so much for coming along with me and watching my videos. It's a pleasure to make them, and see you down the trail.
Beginning at my beautiful Donald Lake campsite, I paddled north through Donald Lake to the 130-meter Colin Portage. I then traversed Gold Lake as well, marked item 2 on the map, and ended up on McCarthy Bay's windswept shores, marked item 3. Before having to shorten my trip, I had planned to camp at site C53-2A. The initial paddle down McCarthy Bay was slowed by a stiff headwind of at least 20 kilometers an hour. However, about halfway down, this abated, making the rest of the paddle easier in far better weather conditions as well. And my journey ended at the Matagamasi Lake Government Boat Launch, marked item 4. And this ended a short and challenging but very rewarding trip. For day 2, I paddled a total of 23.8 kilometers, and I made 3 double portages for a total of 1.7 kilometers of walking, giving a daily total of human-powered travel of 25.5 kilometers in a steady 5 hours and 32 minutes. For the entire 2-day trip, I paddled a total of 40.8 kilometers, effected 6 double portages for a total of 9.7 kilometers of walking, and a trip total then of 50.5 kilometers of human-powered travel in 12 hours and 2 minutes. Thank you very much for coming along.